Hey, this is Laci Ferno, and you're listening to the Fans View podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fans View podcast. Today's episode is special because we actually have a two-timer. We have a return appearance from someone who represents what this show is all about. That's grit, that's honesty, and that is refusing to disappear, easy for me to say, when things get hard. She's a racer out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The last time she was here, we talked to her about the grind, the setbacks, and the behind-the-scenes hustle that people don't see. Now it's 2026, and she's stepping onto a bigger stage. Please welcome back to the show, Miss Laci Ferno. Laci, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so happy to have you back. We were talking a little bit off camera. It's been just about a year since you first made an appearance.
Yeah, it's crazy. It hasn't felt like a year, but like as I told you, I was like, I remembered my nails, and I was like, oh, those are Valentine's nails, and it's about Valentine's Day again.
I love it. What's been going on since we left you? Anything exciting? I know we're gonna get into the big news later on, but what's going on in Laci's world?
Yeah, outside of the big news we're gonna talk about, I had the flu this week. That wasn't fun. I don't sound like I'm sick anymore though, which I'm very happy about. I sounded like Black Plague for a while, but other than that, we're doing good. I have my jobs going, everything's good with that. Still doing the sponsorship work and like getting sponsors to continue doing some other stuff next year, and just a lot of things that are getting finished off, and I'm really excited about
it. I love it. Well, the last time you were on the show, we kind of talked about you had just taken a step back, but you made it clear you were not done racing. Even when people thought you did. What was the hardest part about watching, the outside world kind of assume you were just done?
Yeah, probably the hardest thing was like I wasn't done because like I wanted to be done. It was more of just a lot of like circumstances just were not going my way. Everything kind of happens for a reason with stuff like that. But it just seemed like if one thing was going to go wrong, another thing would go wrong, and then it was just like a little snowball that was happening. So long story short, I wasn't able to race in 2024, and then last year I wasn't able to race either. Well, when we talked last, I wasn't able to get anything to race the full season either, and It was just a constant grind. Like I never gave up with it. I messaged people. I probably minimum 10 people every day, emails, LinkedIn, social media, anything in the world. I was messing with anyone that would listen. Even people that wouldn't listen, I would keep messing with them. So I was just doing everything I could to get behind the wheel, behind anything, like dirt, asphalt, whatever it was. And I had been working with, it was in the middle of 2024, that's when I got hooked up with Team Stang Racing. And then we started really driving hard last year. We have a lot of cool things that are hopefully we're gonna be able to talk about really soon, which that'll be awesome. A lot of cool things with them. That's been over a year of work, and yeah, it's a lot of cool things. I ended up racing a legend car last year, which is something I never thought I would race because it's just something never been around, and it was definitely a learning experience. Legend cars are a lot different than dirt midgets, so
a little bit, yep.
crazy difference. But racing that was an absolute honor to do because I didn't know I was doing it until about probably 72 hours before I was doing it. And then I ended up racing them for a month. And it was that was the first time I'd been behind the wheel in two years pretty much. And it was crazy. It was a learning experience, but that just month of me racing legend cars really motivated me. It was like, I still want to do, I knew I wanted to do it, but it was like, I need to do this because this is my thing. And it just kept me motivated to keep pushing. And now here we are for this year.
I love it. And you weren't just, training, you were still hitting the gym. You were still doing everything you needed to do to be ready. But you were working, you were pitching sponsors, you're building relationships, one conversation at a time. What's been the most humbling moment that you've experienced while you were out there chasing funding?
There are a lot of humbling moments. So I'm kind of like with my friends, it's kind of like a running joke that I have like 7 part-time jobs. And I don't know if you ever watched like Austin and Allie. They say I'm Rainy Rodriguez, like when she's like, guess we got a job here, guess we got a job here. So I definitely like worked a lot of jobs, and there was a time where I was managing a coffee bar, and when I was doing that job, it wasn't really humbling, it was more kind of awkward. I was I had to be on window for some reason. I don't know why. I was on window for some reason. And that's just the person that stands in the window and hands out drinks and everything was good to go. And while I was doing it, this guy was like kind of like looking at me. And I was oh, like, how are you? Like, do you need, like, did I mess something up? Like, do you need something? And he's like, did you friend me on LinkedIn and try to get sell sponsor? And I was like, probably. I was like, you know what, probably. How you doing? My name's Laci Ferno.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, it takes courage, honestly, you know, to even ask somebody, you know, to invest in you, to sponsor you. How do you keep that confidence when the answer is no, maybe not right now, no? Like, how do you keep that confidence when it's no over and over? Because as you know better than anyone, you're going to get a lot of no's. It's a numbers game before you finally get that yes.
Yeah, like what you said, you're gonna get told no a million times before you get told a maybe, and then a million times after that before you get told yes. So, it definitely is just, you just can't take it personally. Like, usually, like, if someone, I definitely am a mindset person. Like, you have to go into it with a positive mindset, because if you're negative, it's definitely not gonna happen. But I also don't let myself, like, get my hopes up. So I'm just like,
right.
Worst thing they're gonna do, not respond, say no. Like, they're not gonna like you're ugly, no. Like, they'll just be like, no, we're good. Like, we just don't have the funds for that. So it's not personal. So I just really work hard, and then I'll kind of like see what other people are doing, kind of like what they're doing better than me and how I can improve myself. And, I'm really trying to get more active on social media again. So that was a big problem for me, because I didn't want to keep reusing content from like 2022 and stuff like that. But
Right.
when I did that, it caused a slight problem, because then I was like, okay, now I'm not posting, and then I'm having to play the fun game of trying to get active again. So yeah.
Yeah, I can see how that could be an issue. What do you think fans probably, I wouldn't even say probably, what do you think fans completely misunderstand about grassroots racing?
It's expensive. It's an expensive sport, even though it's considered grassroots racing. And honestly, like, sponsorship wise, it's harder to sell it if it's a bigger company, because it's like, yes, it's technically cheaper than like the Cup Series, but you're getting way less out of it, kind of, if that makes sense.
Right.
So like, there's like less visibility, less people at the track, stuff like that. But it's still a solid 5-figure sponsorship if you want to have your whole season covered. So it's just,
Right.
I think the biggest thing is just how expensive grassroots racing really truly is, unless you race like flat carts or something.
Right. So, we talked about this in the first interview, but I want to touch on it again for maybe people that missed it. You were building sponsor decks at 15. Like, you ain't new to this game. You've been in it, teaching yourself about branding. You spoke about, you're not just out here on Instagram and TikTok, like, you're on LinkedIn, you're putting in the boring hours. You created your own agency instead of paying for one. Do drivers today have to be marketers to survive?
I think so. Realistically, I feel like racing is it's just such a money sport at the end of the day. So you either have to have some sort of financial backing already, where you don't have to worry about finding sponsors. But if you're someone that doesn't already have that financial backing, you need to figure out how to get that financial backing, and it better be sponsors, investors, however you want to go about it. And with me personally, I had to learn how to do that. So I sold my first sponsor when I was, I think, 16. I always want to say 15, but I think I was 16. And like, like I said, I made my first ever deck when I was 14. I was sending it to people that I should not have been sending it to. And I learned from that, and I was like, this deck kind of sucks, let me make a new deck. And then still didn't sell nothing with it. And then my third deck, that's when I was able to sell my first sponsor, and I got my deal with Lucas Oil and people like that. So I got Lucas Oil, Pit Viper, and stuff like that. And when I started selling those sponsors, that's when I realized, I was like, okay, this is possible. I need to further this and learn more how to get better at this. So a big thing I worked on learning about, that doesn't really make sense. Worked on to learn. It was
I love
B2B
you.
so I get so tongue tied. Like, I don't even try to act like I don't. But yeah, like, B2B was a huge thing. I was like, if I can get into B2B, like, with different partners I've had in the past, to be like, oh, like, we can do this with this person, that's where the big money's at. So being able to learn how to do that, find the right people, match the right companies together, has been like a big learning curve, but a very needed learning curve.
Right. And something that I was telling you, I just had Logan Mizuraka on the other day on the show, and we kind of talked about it with her, and I'd love to hear your opinion on it. We talk about you have to be a marketer, in the motorsports world, not just NASCAR, but almost any motorsports genre at this point. Do you think that raw talent is still enough to get you where you need to go anymore?
I think yes and no. I think raw talent can help you in different ways. Like hypothetically, like it just depends on the person. Genuinely, like you find someone that does have the absolute raw talent, they get in front of the right eyes, it'll help them. But they also, I do think, honestly, yeah, they need to have some amount of marketability to them, and like,
Hmm.
but some less than others. Like if they're really good, they're marketable, they have good personality, and they just don't really know what to do. I mean, once in a blue moon, a team owner might be like, "Oh my god, they're so great," and that like it's not likely to happen, but could happen. But it's just
Right.
so hard to like kind of have that happen when you could have someone that maybe might be a little less talented, but they have the backing because it's just more makes more financial sense for the team. It's just it's just such a weird spot to kind of be in as a team owner. I'm glad I'm not in it, but where it's like lose money with someone that doesn't have sponsors and is really good, or run decent with someone that can need some development, needs to learn a little bit, but they have that sponsorship backing that'll help the team thrive and be able to continuously improve throughout the year.
Yeah. Well, and let me ask you this, and this actually might be a little controversial, but do you feel like, we talked about people that come into the sport maybe light on the talent but heavy on the funding, as opposed to people that are heavy on the talent and light on the funding. What do you feel like the weight skews when it comes to a woman? Because obviously, and I don't mean to be disrespectful when I say this, but some people view women in motorsports, especially at the higher levels, as almost a novelty.
Mhm.
Like, oh, we have to have that token woman in there. Do you feel like being a woman in this sport, as it pertains to the marketing aspect, do you think that that is a pro or a con for you?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like as time goes on and more girl drivers are kind of coming out and being seen and like doing the thing, I think it's honestly it's kind of fizzling. Not I don't know the best way to put it. Not fizzling down, but I feel like it's not as rare now. Like you're not gonna be like when Danica came around, it was only Danica for a while. Like it
Right.
was just Danica. But now it's like you have Haley, you have Tony, you have Amber, you have Logan. Like you just like it's like boom, 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 boom. I
Yeah.
think it's there's so many more girls that know that they need to market, so it's kind of like they can kind of pick and choose versus just the one. So yes and no, but it just depends on the person how good they are at marketing themselves.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It almost, and obviously I'm not a woman, so I can't speak to it too much, but it almost feels like maybe you get that extra set of eyes on you because you're a novelty. And again, I don't mean any disrespect when I say it that way. I just don't know a better word to use. But
Yeah,
maybe you get that extra set of eyes on you to show what you can do because you are a woman. But at the same time, once you get to that level, it feels like you have to work twice as hard, it seems like, to maintain that position.
yeah,
do
for
you
sure.
do you
Like it
kind of
helps
see
with
that?
social media. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it helps with social media. I believe. Like I think that's helped me kind of grow. As I mean, I kind of pushed it like, hey, I'm a girl doing this, blah blah blah, and that's helped me grow my social medias. But I think after a certain point, it's kind of like, okay, you need to perform, you need to do this, or it's you're just gonna be kind of like just written off. So I think
Right.
it definitely has like its benefits, like with social media, growing your social media, helping build a fan base, kind of connect with people, connect with little
Right.
girls that like want to get into sport and stuff like that. But and like or like female owners and stuff like that. There's a lot of different connection aspects you can use with being a girl. But I think once you get to a certain point, you have to perform or it's gonna all go away. It doesn't matter how many followers you have, no matter what, it'll go away eventually.
That's right. For sure, for sure. Like you said, being pretty helps on social media, but once you put that helmet on, you doesn't matter. You look the exact same as Kevin Harvick at that point. So
Mhm.
you've been pretty honest, about, like you said, the drawbacks and the positives of, being a woman in motorsports. And I wanted to ask you what you think about, obviously, we're going to let the cat out of the bag a little early. For people that don't know, you're going to be driving an ARCA this year, here and there. Um, City Garage Motorsports actually is bringing to Daytona and the whole 2026 season the first ever all women's team. How do you view that as a woman yourself, do you see that as a positive and a step in the right direction for racing, that we start to normalize women in motorsports at
Yeah,
this
I mean,
level?
yeah, it's a super cool thing that they're doing. I've been a part of some different women's development things, and when it's done right, it's a really cool thing. Like, it's just there's no one else doing it, and you're one of one. And there's a lot of cool opportunities you can take within that. So I think it's definitely unique, and I like how they're like. I mean, they're still racing like ARCA, so they're in the ARCA series with everyone. So it's just I think it's a really unique thing that they're doing, and I love it.
I love that. The last time you were here, like we said, you were just grinding to try to get back on the track. Now it's 2026, and you're preparing for your upcoming appearance in the ARCA Menards Series. First of all, congratulations.
Thank
I'm
you.
so proud of my former guest, and now future guest as well, because, you're on the way to big things. But we're so proud of you. When did it stop feeling like a long shot and start feeling real?
Yeah, I think it started feeling real last year, right before we made the announcement. We were grinding away doing a bunch of different things, and then when this whole deal came to be, it was amazing, and we're all so excited to be out there, and it's just gonna be a great year. I'm so excited. We're gonna have a lot of cool things coming out with it really soon, so stay tuned for that. A lot of unique things. So yeah, I can't put into words how excited I am.
I love that. And obviously, I know you can't tell us all of the specifics, but can you, as much as you can, tell us, when did this all come together? Like, do you remember the exact moment that you got the call?
Yeah, it was what day was it? It was around Halloween. It was I made the announcement. I remember it was the week of the World Finals. So it was I think I was told maybe a few days after Halloween, then we ended up making the announcement. So I was so excited. I was surprised. I was just like, "Oh, okay," cuz the team I've been working with, it was their Team Stang is involved with it. So they were like, "Oh, like kind of like, oh, guess what? Like we're doing this." So I was like, okay, cool. So a lot of cool things are going to come out soon about that, and I'm so excited about it. It feels so good to be back on a national stage, and I can't even put into words how excited I am, because that's where I've wanted to be since I left, like, the midget stuff, being on the national stage with that. So being able to get back on another national stage is just a dream come true.
I love it. Did you immediately think about, hey, what could this lead to?
Yeah, so I'm definitely like, yeah. I was like, this could be a good way to sell other sponsors. So I was when I saw that, I was like, we can do a lot of cool things with that, and just kind of continue to grow, add more races, even if it's not an ARCA, do something like maybe like grow and maybe like late model or something. And I mean, that's not like official or nothing. That's just kind of me
Right.
being like a squirrel brain. But I was like, we can go for this, and like continue to grow it, and then obviously get me back out there, because I think that's been one of my biggest issues selling sponsors again, is just like, it's like you haven't been on track for 2 years, so I can't be like, oh,
Right.
like my last race. Well, now I could with the legend car stuff now, but before then it was like, oh, my last race 2 years ago, I did this. So
Right.
like it was kind of making it hard, and honestly, racing that legend car when I did, I think was very crucial, because I was able to be like, I did this. This is how I did blah blah blah, and people were like, oh, okay, cool. So they knew I was legit and knew I'd raced and had the capability to do it.
I love that for you. Like I said, I'm so proud. You're like the little kid of this podcast. And again, I don't mean that in a disparaging way or anything like that, but it's so awesome. Like, it's so great to see you finally, getting the success that you so rightly deserve.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
For people that don't know, can you give them all the details, what track you're running, who you're running for, and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, so the team will be announced soon. Like I said, I mean, Team Stang is helping with it, but the team will be announced soon. And our first official race is Chicagoland. I'm gonna have to run other races other than that, because I'm not currently approved for Chicagoland. But the race we have for sure set in stone is Chicagoland.
Awesome.
Hey, you. Yeah, watching this right now. I see you. If you're enjoying what you're watching, I've got one quick favor to ask, and it only takes a second, costs you nothing, and makes a huge difference. If you could go ahead and hit that like button, maybe drop a comment. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed. Doesn't seem like much, but for small creators, it's everything. So let's help more people find this channel and keep the content coming. And honestly, I'm pretty sure the podcast will be really grateful. So if you're having fun, you like what you see, make it official, click those buttons, and the Fans View podcast will see you next time.
Awesome. I love to hear that. With that step up in competition, comes the fact that, grassroots racing, the pressure is about survival. It's like, I want to be able to do this. ARCA is not that same pressure. This one's about visibility. Like you said, you're on a national stage now. You're on FS2 most weeks. Which one weighs heavier on you right now?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't usually really let it weigh down on me. My whole thing is like kind of like what I said earlier, I'm definitely a mindset person. So I definitely think like not like get like super stressed out. I'll be like, all right, like what am I gonna do? How am I gonna perform? What am I gonna do if XYZ happens? What do I need to do to perform my best? So like
Right.
I mean it's already began. Like the training, I mean, I've been training for years, even though I haven't been racing. So training every day, running every day. I picked up running last year, which was very surprising because I used to hate running. Picked up running, like reaction training, sim training, just all that kind of stuff. Just continuously doing that. So I mean, like I've done so many things, like just behind the scenes to physically, mentally prepare myself for this moment. So like I mean, I had like this is such a random thing, but like I got my nose fixed because I couldn't breathe good, so I finally got my nose fixed. Did that, started running, got more in shape. I'm helping my VO2 breathe better, sleep better, just all that kind of stuff, getting it better. So there's
Love it.
I want to be I'm very much a person that's like I don't want to have a single excuse as to why like I hypothetically wouldn't do good. So I make myself do good. And I just
Right.
my goal is to perform and I will perform.
I like it. And that's a perfect segue because I wanted to touch on that. How do you mentally prepare for and I hate to put this pressure on you because we do love you so much here, but how do you mentally prepare for a race where, I mean, one clean run could change everything, but one mistake could go the opposite way and it
Yeah.
could start to shape a narrative. How do you mentally prepare yourself for those mental gymnastics?
Yeah, just like you said, like I have like kind of like what I said earlier a little bit, just like I like to have it to be where I have no excuse as to why something didn't do good. Like, oh, like she's not in shape. I work out every day. Oh, like she like her cardio wasn't good. Well, I ran a half marathon a month ago. Like just stuff like that. So reaction training, like oh her reactions were slow. Do reaction training every day. It's like, oh, like she got tired, fixed my nose. I could breathe good. There's like stuff like that. And it's like such like little things like you wouldn't think would affect you. They do though. Like even like I mean this no one cares, but like when I got my nose surgery, like I started sleeping better. I started feeling better. I could breathe. I sound different. I got probably not right now because I had the flu. But I remember right when I got better, I was like people were like, "Oh, do you like feel good?" And I was like, I mean, yeah, I feel fine. And like, you don't sound sick. And I was like, I don't know, I sounded sick, but okay. Yeah, so like just kind of do everything in my power to not have a single thing like just like turn me down in a way, I guess. I don't know how to put it, but just have nothing in everything that's in my hands, I want to have it as good as possible. So physical, mental, all that kind of stuff. And also, training, like sim training, watch videos, all that stuff. Just be as prepared as possible. And then when I'm at the track, not let it get in my head. And usually before every time I go on the track, I'll be like, all right, like first lap, like XYZ. Like, what am I going to do? I'm going to do this, this, or this. This happens, I'll do this. Especially coming from dirt racing where you don't have spotters, stuff like that. You have to be able to think like that, just like bam, bam, bam. So I think that'll definitely play into my favor.
I love that. It's like you're reading my run sheet because I was literally going there next. The next question was just that. Coming from dirt and open wheel racing, going to ARCA now, what's been the biggest adjustment? Patience, trust, racecraft. What has been that biggest adjustment going from open wheel and dirt to pavement and ARCA?
Yeah, so I haven't really raced a lot on pavement other than that legend car.
Right.
And probably the biggest thing is being more patient, just like because dirt races are go go go, and even the legend car stuff is pretty go 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 because it's pretty short races. But you don't drive it the same. Like you're not as insanely aggressive. And I mean, it's kind of weird saying that with a legend car because legend cars you kind of are. But like late models, like when I've tested late models on iRacing and stuff like that. Even when I tested a late model a few years ago, like it's just so much more patience, and you have to trust your spotter, and it's not gonna be a problem for me. It's just something I'm not used to doing. Like I'm used to being like you kind of go off feel, like you can feel someone near you, like you kind of like look and stuff like that. But being able to switch over and kind of honestly, I think it'll really help me a lot. Just taking stuff out of my head and just focusing only on driving. I'm really excited about doing that. And like what I said, like I think it'll definitely transitioning from dirt to asphalt will definitely help me in a lot of ways. Like I'll be more like I have a lot like with the more aggressive driving style, being more like kind of like planning out every move in my head kind of deal. So yeah, I think
Right.
it'll definitely play into my favor.
What part of your skill set would you say that you're the most confident in?
I would say on the track, I'm definitely an aggressive driver. I'm not someone that's gonna like. I'm not a driver that's just gonna fall to the back. I'm not gonna get pushed around, stuff like that. So I think being able to stay close to someone, I'm not afraid to be on top of someone, like right up on their like bumper, right on the side of them. I've never been scared of doing stuff like that. So just definitely not scared of door to door racing. Just never back down. Like you drive it in hard, I'll drive it in harder. It's kind of deal. But yeah, I think that'll definitely play into my favor.
I love that. Um, Obviously, and we've talked about it ad nauseum on here, so I know you've heard it a billion times, but there's gonna be talk. You're a young, attractive woman. You're going into the ARCA series, like many before you. How important, though, is it for people to come away like, fine, Laci Ferno is a girl going into Chicagoland. How important is it for you, though, coming out of that race to have people talking about your driving and not your gender?
Yeah, I think it's just going to come down to how good of a run I do, and it's going to come down to my performance on track and how good I run. At the end of the day, like I can be a girl, boy, whatever. If I suck, I suck, and that's just not what I want to do. So my goal is to run good, have a good finish, be clean, not cause any problems, and just have a good, solid finish to show people I am here and I'm going to stay.
Do you feel a pressure with this opportunity to represent more than yourself, or are you kind of trying to put that out of your head and just drive for Laci?
I mean, a little bit, just because I want to do good, but I'm definitely driving for me and I want to like just anyone that's I want to like try to drive for people that are like me, just like
Yeah,
doing everything they can, the grassroots racer, like that is who I want to perform for, and girl or boy, whoever trying to make this dream happen, I want to help represent them. Like if you never give up, it will eventually happen.
absolutely. Um, Worst case scenario, if this ARCA race doesn't immediately lead to the next opportunity, does that change how you're going to view it?
No, not at all. I mean, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I am forever grateful to even have this opportunity because, I mean, I started racing when I was 14, which is kind of considered old. So being able to do what I've done, I feel like I'm very happy with. And, I want to continue growing, continue racing, winning races, championships, stuff like that. But, if it doesn't immediately happen, I'm still forever grateful for the opportunity. Because you never know when you get
Absolutely.
another one.
For sure, for sure. When it comes to Chicagoland, and we're just going to talk about solely that one appearance, because that's all we know for sure, it's locked in. What does success look like for that appearance? What are you going to be happy with leaving the track?
Yeah, I definitely think as good of a run as I can do, if wherever that might be on the track, top 15, top 10, top 20, whatever it is, and just having a good, clean, solid race. Not causing any problems, not doing anything stupid, just having a good, solid race. That is the biggest goal going into that race.
I love that. And like I said, I know we're all going to be watching you. I will be on the couch watching you that day, just happy as can be. So
Thank you.
all the best of luck. I know I say that for the viewers and the listeners too. So we're pulling for you when it comes to Chicago. Now I want to talk about something that is near and dear to your heart. You're racing, it's about speed. But Rippin' for a Cure is about saving lives. When did racing become a platform instead of just a dream?
Yeah, so kind of like I said earlier, I've been doing marketing since I was 14, and something I learned really quick was the importance of social media. So I really started growing my social media the minute COVID happened. So I would have been about 14, 15. I think I was 15 when COVID happened. So, just really focusing on social media and growing. And I've told the story before, but like I always wanted to race forever, but my mom didn't want me to do it because she just thought it was not safe. And my dad actually had a widowmaker heart attack in 2017, and it was a whole thing. He died and got brought back to life, but he's doing okay now. But when that happened, my mom decided, she was like, all right, you two can go racing together. You'll get over it in like a month. Here we are now. But yeah, so that was kind of what let me get into racing. And I knew I always wanted to do something to give back to my dad and just kind of be like raise awareness for heart disease, because it's huge on my dad's side of the family and it's huge in America. It's the number one killer in America. So, and once I started growing my platform during COVID, I knew that was the perfect time to start it. So that's when I started my Rippin. I call it my Rippin baby. I had the Rippin baby. It got started then, and I've been growing it. It's been kind of a work in progress. I'm kind of scatterbrained, so it definitely got put on the back burner for a little bit. But this year, I definitely wanted to focus on growing it, and I have a lot of cool things planned for it. We just dropped a new website recently. Thank you to P1 Web Development for that. And it's a really amazing website. We're going to have a new ambassador program, which is going to be way better than it was originally. And do lots of cool things with our ambassadors. And also we're going to raise awareness for heart disease, as well as raise funds and stuff for that for heart disease, as well as help our drivers, because we're going to have grassroots drivers, help our drivers be able to get on track with smaller level sponsorships and stuff like that. So the biggest thing, we're going to hopefully have Rippin stickers on different cars at different tracks and have different ambassadors all over to teach everyone about heart disease.
That is fantastic, guys. And make sure you check into Laci's foundation, Rippin for a Cure. We're going to make sure to link that down in the description of the podcast and the YouTube video, because we want to get as many eyes on that as possible. That's a really cool thing she's got going on. Before we finish up with Rippin, long term, do you see that becoming bigger almost than your racing career?
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
The flu is still kind of kicking my butt. I was trying so hard not to cough. Yeah, that is definitely I definitely want Rippin to grow with me as I grow in racing. I definitely want it to be almost like a driven to save lives situation. So I want to be able to have Rippin for a Cure race cars and have them be able to place them strategically throughout the country where there's as many eyes on Rippin for a Cure as possible. So I definitely want it to continue to grow with me, and I want to be able to put more. And as I become a driver, be able to grow as a driver, get more brand deals, stuff like that, put more money into it. So the big name of the game is going to be the money part of it. And I have a lot of fun different ways on how we're going to raise money for Rippin, grow it to be heart disease. And I also want to do events, go to schools, teach kids about heart disease. I mean, I've done it before and I absolutely loved it. So I want to also do that and continue growing it and teaching kids how to live a heart-healthy lifestyle and just do all that stuff. So and also my ambassadors teach them too, so they can go do their own different heart disease work, whether it be social media content or go to a school or go to the racetrack and do it wherever they want to do it, and make Rippin for a Cure pretty much just like a similar model to Driven to Save Lives.
I love it. That's fantastic. Like I said, Rippin for a Cure it's almost bigger than the racing. As we start to round third here and head home, I want to hit you with a fun little fans view rapid fire if you're up for it.
Okay, I'm down.
Here we go. Win with chaos or lose while being the fastest?
Win with chaos, because winning's fun.
That's the right answer. There's only one right answer. All right, no thinking. First one that comes to mind: dirt or asphalt?
Dirt.
Ooh.
I don't know.
What is the hardest part of racing that fans never see?
The marketing side of it.
One thing you refuse to compromise on?
Doling myself down. I definitely will always want to be my true authentic self and not letting anything make me have to act different. If I want to be I was talking about this yesterday with someone. I was like, I want to be able to always be myself and also motivate people to always be themselves.
Okay. What scares you more, failing or being forgotten?
Failing.
Last but not least, Laci, before I get you out of here, I got to ask you, after setbacks, rebuilding, and now stepping into ARCA, has your definition of success changed?
Definitely not. I definitely want to just, my idea of success is racing. So race, whatever it is, be able to do it. And like I said, I was like, I like dirt racing. It might change when I race ARCA because the legend car was an experience. If I had to pick between legend cars or midgets. But that easily could change when I start racing ARCA. So stuff like that. I think the biggest thing of success is just having my butt in a car. So being able to race anything and there's different levels to it. If I can race full time as a career, that's a dream come true. But if I'm at a point in my life where I'm still racing multiple times a year, that's all I've ever wanted.
Last but not least, when it's all said and done, when you're finished, what do you want people to say about Laci Ferno?
She was a bad boy. She was fast.
I love it. And we should have prefaced that by you're a baby still. So that legacy and that end date is 40 years down the road, I'm sure. Laci, thank you so much for coming on. This has been so much fun. All your socials, still Laci Ferno 67?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, 6'7".
Yeah. Oh yeah. As I said it, I regretted saying it that way. But yeah, tell people about your socials.
Yeah, so Laci Ferno 67 on everything. I was kind of like early to the 6'7" trend, but
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yep.
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff, LinkedIn, YouTube, it's all the same thing. And then my website's also just laciferno.com. My name's kind of spelled weird. It's LACIFERNO. So yeah.
Guys, make sure you're following Laci on all platforms. Like she said, Laci Ferno 67. Check out Rippin' for a Cure. We're gonna post that in the description. And keep your eyes on that those ARCA appearances in 2026, because man, this girl's story, guys, is just getting started. Like I said, Laci, thanks for coming on the Fansview podcast. Part 3 is inevitable. We're gonna exchange numbers after this, because your Instagram DMs are a minefield. But we're gonna get you back on the show after you run a couple ARCA races, and we're gonna debrief and talk about that too.
No, I'm so excited. Thank you for having me on again.
Guys, make sure to go support Laci. We love her here at the Fansview, and I'm sure you will too. And don't forget, most importantly, guys, call your mom.
If you haven't liked or subscribed, you're gonna be joking me.